Hello Anvils. I am going to paint this anvil of HeldenHammer using ProAcryl, and since I don't have any ProAcryl metallics, I'm going to use AK Interactive. And I put these guys off to last because of the shield, so I figured that would be a lot of work. But I can't lie, I really like the way he looks just primed. So it was plastic colored gold from the Tempest of Souls set, second edition, and I painted it with clear primer, and then I went over it and just did an undertone with black spray paint, or I believe I used black Vallejo surface primer in an airbrush. So I'm going to paint the white parts first, and I'll apologize in advance. I may have to get up and get more stuff because I haven't done this for a while. I've just been super busy at work and with other hobbies, and I haven't done this for a while, so my system is completely out the window now. So I am using ProAcryl Ivory. We'll shake it a little bit more. Okay, probably a total of 50 shakes. And it's got this infamous top. So I'm going to try to get most of the paint off of it. And then I'm going to get my brush wet in water. Thin out my paint so it's like milk, and it actually kind of looks like milk, albeit buttermilk or eggnog or something like that, because of the color. And I like to paint my anvils of HeldenHammer masks like a skull. I did apologize in advance. I'm going to get up and get a additional light source and magnifying glass so I can see really where the skull is. Where the mask is. So I just bought this little thing super cheap on Amazon, and I usually use it for reading, because you don't have to bother with charging it or anything. You can just put AA batteries. I like Duracell. You can put AA batteries in it, and it lasts a really long time. I've only replaced the batteries once on it. Neck too, so that's not good. So what I'll do is use a lot of water. just soak up that extra paint I don't want. With the dry brush. So I kind of saturate it with water. Yeah, that looks okay. It laid more in the recesses, so then what I'll do is I'll just go in and put it on the real surfaces. I'll just touch the brush, just kind of stipple it on the real tough surfaces. And then I'm going to do a little bit on the demon skull. That looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more on that eye socket. And then I'm just going to stipple it on the surfaces. Then I'm going to do black, and I'm going to choose dark warm gray. So instead of being black mixed with titanium white, it's black mixed with ivory, right? So it'll go along well with it. And I'm just going to use enough black to make them an Anvil of HeldenHammer. Going to read my haiku that I wrote for this one. Another anvil, ProAcryl armor blazes, Shyesh on alert. Do is this pattern, this shoulder pad, if you will. of look them over and see if there's more black I want to do. More gray, if you will. And the idea here is that I'll spend 20, 30 minutes at the most doing this. Paint by numbers, and then I'll spray it over with the iridescent paint and make it look cool. And I usually do their boots too, I know that. I'll probably go away for a minute to look at one that I painted with the same way of priming and see if there's anywhere else that I need to paint black, or in this case gray. Might add a little bit of gloss medium to it to get it to stick better, because it's kind of hydrophobic because of the primer that I used, which I've explained in my other videos. Light come from this side might actually help you all to see it too. Better. Not that it matters. Got some paint on the base. That really matters, but I'll go ahead and wash it off. Well, I know about it and it's easy, right? Same method, I just added some water and then took a dry brush to remove it. wet brush will give up paint. So you want to definitely have your brush wet when you're painting, but a dry brush will actually take up paint. I'm just taking my fingernail and removing some of this. Where it missed. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to white. Stip on those surfaces. Whoops. Use it with the magnifying glass is kind of disorienting. It's probably messing up my focus for my glasses without. Don't use the magnifier because of progressive lenses, and it takes you a while for your eyes to train to focus with them. Get my point back on my brush. So I'm gonna just take a minute just to go look at another StormCast and see if there's any place else I painted black or gray. On one of them, I painted the pant leg with black, and the other one I didn't, so I could do either one. It just seems like it could use a little bit more gray, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint the pant leg. There's only one showing. The robe is covering the other one. I'm gonna go ahead and paint that as well. want to do that. I might paint the shield, part of the shield black. Yeah, I think I'll paint the edges of the shield black. I may regret this, but and by black I mean gray. Within limited color range, I like to experiment and have each Anvil of HeldenHammer turn out a little different. That looks pretty good. I won't paint up above, I'll leave that metallic. I'll try to stipple some paint in here by the hammer. Good. Another coat. Where it's real gold, it only has that clear primer. It doesn't really hold the paint very well. Work with it, and this is very good paint, so it can do it. ProAcryl is awesome. I think that looks really cool. Now I definitely need some more paint there, but I'm going to let it dry before I try to put some more on. That looks real awesome, and it'll really contrast when I start using the metallics on it. Really trying to have it be mostly primer and then the iridescent final coat, and really do as little painting as I can on it, so I don't spend as much time, because I really want to get to where I'm playing the game more. All right, this has Liquitex matte medium, ultra matte medium. Actually, I don't think I have ultra matte, so it's probably varnish, ultra matte varnish. And I'm going to use that along with the burnt red for the cloak, because cloth looks very matte. So I think I'm actually just going to put some paint right in here. This is made of silicone. So once it dries, and it stays wet really long with this cover on it, and the fact that I cut these a little high so that they'll kind of seal down with the cover, it actually stays wet really long. So it allows you to reuse your paint more. This is real glossy first before I paint it. And then I want to kill the gloss with this matte. Sorry for being off camera. So you couldn't even see if it looked nice, and you couldn't even agree or disagree because I was painting off camera. Sorry about that. I think I'm gonna leave that. I kind of like how it looks. It's kind of the black and the gold underneath it. And then to make the front look brighter, what I'll do is I'll use more coats of it. So I can effectively get two colors instead of one. I can get more of a bright red on the front. More of a dark red on the back. Varnish helps it stick. I think I just painted where I don't want it. Here. Just use a dry brush to remove it. Really cool looking model. It looks like there's 2 layers of robes. It's definitely not on ProAcryl that I have to paint everything twice. It just recedes from the edges. It's more about the primer that I used, the clear primer. But I love the effect. It looks so cool primed, I didn't even really want to paint it. I'm gonna leave the back like that. It just kind of looks like a reddish gold in the back, and it looks different than the front, which is really what I want to have. That's the effect I want. It's real easy for me to not paint any more on something because that's the easiest thing I can do. I think I will give the top here another coat of red. Yeah, even that, because there was more black primer back there, looks different than the front. Really cool. His fleur-de-lis, it looks like. It's actually an anvil with a lightning bolt going down it. It looks really cool. It really stands out because of the metallic primer. Put a little bit on the handle. Some red on his headdress. turn out nicely in the back. And I like the top now that I gave it one more coat. It still looks different than the front. Use my other brush and go back to that shield. Give it a little bit more gray. Stippling some paint in there. Pretty good. All right, now I want to be really stingy with this stuff. I want to really pick out what I really want most to be a different metallic than the primer. And I'm tempted to do that because I want that to stand out, but it stands out so much already, I'm not gonna. And then I won't do the anvil on there to be consistent either. I'll just do maybe the hammer with this old gold. This is AK Interactive that I'm using. Point on the brush, that's good. And I'm going to go through and do this hammer. Got an anvil. I better be consistent and not do the anvil. Maybe I'll just do the lightning bolt on this one, but not on the one on the front of them because it's too small. It'll mess it up. Yeah, I don't want to try to do the anvil on there. I'm not that brave. Now he's got a lion here. I might be brave enough to try that. Give it a little more balance to the gold. Let me try to do the anvil on this thing. just to patch it. Yeah, probably painted more than I really like. Could try to do in there just the inset of that. I might regret being this brave. Yeah, there's like a lightning bolt, that's gonna be tough. So far so good on that one. I like that because it contrasts the gray of the shield better. Oh, I got some on the shield. Not good. Okay, I'll just go back with the gray. Touch it up. Easy enough. Okay, and since I'm painting gray, let's see if I can just give a little bit of a contrast to his eyes. Yeah, that works. Get a little more white on his jawbone. Yep. Maybe a little under his right eye. Then I'll go back with a little more gray. I'm just using that really dilute gray to kind of give it some shade. Now silver. Okay, and again, I'm going to be really sparing with the silver. That's it. And the iridescent paint will tie it all together and it'll look better than it does now, hopefully. Thank you, Anvils.